This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 5, beginning at verse 1. Nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. But iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest, or that thou hast heard long ago. And the land that thou seest now to have root shall thou see wasted suddenly. Skipping the verse 8. There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and mistress women shall bring forth monsters. Verse 9. And salt water shall be found in the sweet, and all friends shall destroy one another. Then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself into his secret chamber, and shall be sought of many, and yet be found. Salakia, and yet not be found. Then shall unrighteousness and incontinency be multiplied on the earth. I want to start off by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to call Loyam, La Yahweh, Ba Hashem, Yahushai, Ba Hashem, Rachak with his thumb. Double honors to the apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so now more so than ever. Shalom to the Aquath and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord, willingly this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of the other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribing to this truth. To you I say Shalom. It's the brother Yahweh Sap out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So basically, searching a news break for another article and another lesson, and came across this article, and it's spiritual because I remember the brother Barak Allah, the elder brother from Ancient of Days, LA camp. He was, no, I think it was the elder Mawatazak. Mawatazak, the elder, the head of that camp, Ancient of Days, LA camp. And he was going into how in Mexico, Issachar is basically kidnapping the women, and women are going outside at 3 or past 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And now you're seeing in Haiti, which is, if you're familiar with the truth, the Haitian people are considered the tribe of Levi, just like the Mexican people are considered the tribe of Issachar. So it's spiritual that our people in the end of the days is the ones that's, sinning the most. And that's why it makes you understand about, how that violence is being perpetrated by a lot of Jake. Now, Esau Edom is the wicked, of course, but it talks about that Jake is so wicked that they've taught the wicked their ways. So, Jake is going to get, because you got 2/3, and somebody got to be the 2/3. But that's why I came out with this 2nd Ezra 5, because it talks about the tokens. When you go into tokens, the tokens basically are the signs or the prophecies. And it talks about how many of them shall be caught up in a great number. The way of truth shall be hidden. And, it makes me think about, like, this whole CV-19 thing. You had a lot of people that literally got caught up in that, where they literally dealt with Esau, took the jump shot. It talks about iniquity shall be increased. And when you go into iniquity, that's the sin upon sin. And we seeing the sin upon sin on a daily basis. I know the brother Bakura Moff just did a video. I saw the post, but they was talking about how they're able to actually give a man a womb in this kingdom. They've actually created some kind of technology, and you can take part in the surgery if you're one of those confused individuals that the Most High is going to destroy, one of those alphabet people. And basically they can actually get some kind of way where they, some kind of surgery where they, that's how we at the end. But it says, so iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest. Then when you go in verse 8, it talks about confusion. Also in many places, it talks about in the book of Isaiah, chapter 29, about Esau turning things upside down. This society is the most confused it's ever been. You'll actually, like, have an argument, fuck around and get into a fist fight with, somebody about what they believe that's contrary to the scriptures. You know. I remember there's a video that was circulating on the through the group chat, and they had this Edomite that basically had to tell another Edomite that thought that it's okay because basically he's saying if you feel like a female, that makes you a woman, and he said that's not true. He said basically you got certain like archaeology, they found a human remains. What is that? What's the thing that's going to allow them to know that this was a female or a male or a male or a female? He said they're going to look at certain body parts. So just because you feel a certain kind of way, because this devil has put that in your mindset, that's to turn the things upside down. It says, verse 10, it shall be sought of many and yet not be found. Because it talks about in verse 9, understanding which shall be withdraw itself, because the Most High, talks about the wisdom and knowledge being the stability. Everybody doesn't have this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And it talks about how the Most High is basically going to create a famine of the word, where these people are not going to have, they're not going to have this truth, or they're not going to be able to get this truth, and they're going to be looking for and seeking answers and not going to find them. Right now, again, you got major publications talking about it's only 10 weeks left of wheat. And the reason why that is because basically the situation they're saying with Russia and Ukraine, and basically India is the second largest producer or exporter of wheat in the world besides those, Ukraine and Russia, or Russia and Ukraine. And basically they're saying they don't have the ability to, they can't sell wheat and basically feed their own people. So they rather hold on to it. And that's why they're saying it's only 10 weeks left. So the Lord, our elder apostle, the beloved apostle Tahar, coined this year the year of Yahweh Shem Yahushua turning up. And we have seen nonstop turning up from Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, called Loyam La Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Hashem. So with all that being said, I'm gonna read a little bit of this article. This is it says crime, gangs, strangle Haiti's capital as deaths, kidnapping soars, and this is coming to states near you. They already talking about the crime going up in California, New York, Chicago. So it's Port-au-Prince, Haiti. It was about 8 a.m. when Vicky Mois flung open the doors of her house and saw dozens of people running, their children in one hand and scant belongings in the other, as gunfire intensified. Minutes later, she joined the crowd with her own 3 kids and fled as fires burned nearby collapsing homes. I was just watching something. They was talking about how in Jamaica, the Jamaicans basically burnt down motels or hotels where Edomites and Moabites were staying in. And then they had the nerve to tell the Jamaicans they couldn't basically come in the area, but they in Jamaica. So some kind of way it mysteriously burned down. It's been a lot of judgment going on this Newsbreak app. I'm talking about every day somebody getting shot or killed. And it tells you in the scriptures that the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, love of judging. He judgeth every day. It says, over the coming hours and days, the bodies of nearly 200 men, women, and children shot, burned, or mutilated with machetes by warring gangs were found in that part of Haiti's capital. And the thing is, you're going to have, because what's going to happen is this. Eventually, that's how you're going to, they're using, the gang violence, which is going to be happening in the major cities, as the reason why they're going to have to come with military power to bring the order out of the chaos. They want it to become lawlessness. That Sunday, when the war started, I felt that I was going to die, Moes said. Gangs are fighting each other and seizing territory in the capital of Port-au-Prince with a new intensity and brutality. The violence has horrified many who feel the country is swiftly unraveling as it tries to recover from the July 7th assassination of President Juvenal Moïse, and the United Nations prepared to debate the future of his longtime presence in Haiti. And that's deep because the UN is mentioning that. And this is not by coincidence. Like I said, you just had the United States sitting down with the WHO and UN and saying basically giving power over to the UN to actually control the health mandates in the country, which is going to be very interesting. Experts say the scale and duration of gang clashes, the power criminals wield, and the amounts of territory they control has reached levels not seen before. Gangs have forced schools, businesses, and hospitals to close as they raid new neighborhoods, seize control of the main roads connecting the capital to the rest of the country, and kidnap victims daily, including 8 Turkish citizens still held captive, authorities say. Gangs also are recruiting more children than before, arming them with heavy weapons and forming temporary alliances with other gangs in attempts to take over more territory for economic and political gain ahead of country's general elections, said Jamie Vigil Racinos, the United Nations Police Commissioner in Haiti. So when you got the police, because the police actually is one big ass gang. When you take time to think about it, you know, if you go into the definition of what a gang is, matter of fact, let's do that. I'm sure they'll use certain terminology talking about criminals or whatnot, but a gang is a group of people, as simple as um, breakdown. An organized group of criminals. So it's a group. That's all it is. You put the name criminal in it, but like I said, again, a terrorist to one country is another country's freedom fighter. It's astonishing. Uh, he told the Associated Press, noting that gang clashes are becoming protracted, ruthless affairs. We are talking about something that Haiti hasn't experienced before. At least 92 civilians and 96 suspected gang members were killed between April 24th and May 16th. That's damn near 100 people, with another 113 injured, 12 missing, and 49 kidnapped for ransom, according to the UN Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights. The office warned that the actual number of people killed may be much higher. Gangs also gang rape children as young as 10. Damn. And set fire to at least a dozen homes, forcing some 9,000 people to flee and seek temporary shelter in churches, public parks, and shuttered schools, UN officials said. So, the UN is basically trying to plant the narrative they got to go in there with boots on the ground. But at the end of the day, with the times that's coming, the strong is gonna prey on the weak, and at the end of the day, a lot of these strong-willed women is gonna be a booty. Haiti's National Human Rights Defense Network says some victims were decapitated while others were thrown into wells and latrines. Gangs posted pictures of the gruesome scenes on social media to further terrorize people. The network said that most women and girls were raped before being killed. Armed violence has reached an unimaginable and intolerable levels in Haiti. Michelle said in a May 17th statement. Bruno Mays, UNICEF's representative in Haiti, told the AP that one growing concern is the lack of access to basic things like water, food, and medicine because people remain trapped in certain areas while gangs continue to fight, noting that malnutrition is on the rise, affecting 1 in 5 children in the Cité Soleil neighborhood alone. Uh, this is a very interesting article, but I made my point. If you would like to read more, it's a Crime Associated Press. And, I got one scripture because, uh, I could bring out a few different ones, because now it come to the point just bringing out the same scriptures, because we live in certain times in the scriptures, what I mean? Right now, you just basically regurgitating news that people might not be coming across and lining up with certain scriptures. This is the book of Matthew chapter 24, and it says I'll start up. Matthew 24 and verse 1. And Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the building of the temple. And Yahushua said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. Verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, When shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And Yahweh shall answer and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Mashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. The end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall arise, and shall deceive many. And this is the point. Now, that was basically a list of different things you can check for to see what time we're in. And basically, because the scriptures is a book of prophetic of prophecies, basically. And certain prophecies, a lot of prophecies come to pass, and we're only waiting on a few other prophecies. Like the elder was just saying, like we know right now we can feel it through the spirit because we keep lining prophecy up with what's going on. That Yahweh Shai is about to make his way back soon. You can see this whole agenda, UN agenda with this 2030 and them. Basically, it's a reason why you got these certain countries like Finland and Switzerland that was trying to join NATO. They're trying to get in, join the beast. Because the heathen are all for this NWO. They're for this freaky technocratic society. Cyborg freaky dicky society. So in succession, it's a number of different prophecies from the wars and rumors of wars, which we're seeing right now, to nation rising up against nation, because you just had a situation with the Edomite that's supposed to shot up all those Jakes. Then to come to find out, he said that he's a patsy. He didn't do it. Who's to say we don't? Yeah, like I say, at the end of the day, everything is the will of Yahweh Shem Yahshua. So that's nation against nation. It's going to be race wars. It's talked about in the scriptures. I mean, this is one, with a nation of people, like I was just telling the Edomite, literally, when you go into, this is one Edomite was sitting up there talking about, he come to find out he's related to the Queen of England. I was like, okay, I know you're an Edomite then, but it made me laugh like way because we working at the same spot, but you talking about you got royal blood. You're a fucking peasant. You know what I mean? You're a big ass joke of the Most High. It says, and there shall be famines, which we're starting to see. It's a pestilences. You got this monkey pea, earthquakes in diverse places. I mean, I don't even think they've been reporting on earthquakes like that, but you got brothers and certain individuals on YouTube that go into the different earthquakes. It talks about all these beginning of sorrows. All these are the beginning of sorrows. And then it goes into, how you're going to be persecuted for righteousness' sake. So expect those times to come. We watching how YouTube basically created a whole new feature where it could basically, you can cut and edit and see exactly what was said. And right now they're basically limiting free speech. Right recently they went and affected a lot of brothers' channels. You had brothers lose their channels. You had brothers get strikes. I got caught up in that. Call Loyam Layah Bashim Yahshua. Because if we're getting persecuted for saying the truth, that means you're doing the right thing. In a world full of wickedness, they don't want to hear righteousness. Said, and then shall many be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many, like your vocab Malones. But he's a stumbling block for those that the Most High doesn't want. Verse 12, and because iniquity shall abound, meaning the sin upon sin shall increase, the love of many shall wax cold. And that goes with that 2nd Ezra chapter 5. Iniquity shall shall increase more than it is now. That was in 2nd Ezra. So it's gonna be you gotta understand, Jacob's troubles a time like never before. This kingdom and society, and there's so much sin on the planet because all the wicked nations that came before it went down, but America is Babylon the Great. It's a land of confusion. So it's all those kingdoms, all because they incorporate different aspects of all those kingdoms into this one. So it's more wicked. It's more wicked than all the kingdoms that came before it, and that's why it's going to be utterly destroyed. So if you're a so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. You will be destroyed. With that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to called Loyam, La Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Bashem. Double honors to the apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four quarters of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwat and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord, willingly this is edifying. Shalom to Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in land that other nations appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you I say shalom. Till next time I'm able to come with another lesson. Shalom, shalom, and Mawat Lababal. Shalom.